Sylvester is known for twigs and rusted vuvuzela. That's how we call him. That's how he grew up. So it's twigs and rusted vuvuzela. It's accredited to him. On APCO, the study we did on APCO, we realized that when you youth, we get the opportunities. Na tuna capacity ya respond to those tenders, we sell them to wazee kama sisi. So you see, that's according to the study we did on access to government opportunities. So something we need to also converse around. Ukipata, if you cannot fulfill it, send it to another youth, but not mzee. And then lastly, access to information is right together, Article 35, right together with the Access to Information Act, mandates you that when you need any information from any officer seated or any government institution, we have a maximum of 21 days to give it to you. In fact, the Act says that I need to give it to you immediately if I can, but you have a leeway, or you have a period which you need to extend. And then last but not least, I think as duty bearers and also you right holders, we need to let you know that these spaces you're talking about, please seize them. Okay?
Thank you. My parting shot is I want to appreciate the youth for standing up to address your issues, your challenges, and not only addressing but also bringing out the recommendations so that we consider you in the government, in our day-to-day working, the CIDP and satellite. We promise to work with you. We promise to make the healthcare workers very, very pleasant to you and serve you very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My appeal today is as a champion of youth of practice, community of practice. Let's join as a youth to make sure that we connect with the government, and the government, as Kisumu County, start from the village unit, and all of us come from one particular village. So from that point, we can connect and link with government opportunities. And I know we are coming up with a framework on youth development, youth policy. We want to have a youth framework from county to village, which can coordinate youth programs. So when you invite, be part of this. And then towards this end of our annual year, because the year ends in June, we are doing a documentary on youth initiatives and best practices. If you have, please share out, because we want to do a documentary for the county government of Kisumu, which shares all youth players, youth initiatives, as we see the path of young people coming from going to meaningful engagement, and also promoting peer learning processes.
Thank you. As a parting shot, I want to consider ourselves not marginalized. The youth have got the numbers. Let's mobilize ourselves. And today, as we walk out of this boardroom, be the champions to champion change, because the solutions are with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll make two segments in my parting shot. Number one, you are the change that you are looking for. Seize the opportunity. Secondly, I want to say that a better world is possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's a wrap. And I want to let's appreciate the panelists, please.
Before you take back your seats, I request you to stand here for a group photo for the first panel session.
We swan.
Just behave like a youth. Do what a youth will do. Itaka kufanya hivi. Utafanya, no problem.
Okay. Oh, chill.
Amazing. So, let's appreciate them as they take back their seats. Now
Now it is time for our second session. But before I invite my co-MC, I want to recognize the presence of one of our guests who came in as we were doing the first session, Honorable Beatrice. Karibu sana. I know you didn't get a chance to speak, so I'm handing over to my co-MC for our second panel. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can we clap for all of them? Can we clap for all of them? 1, 2, 3. Again. Harder. Harder. So youths know harder. It's okay. We don't want to care. We know. Now, let me take this opportunity not to allow boredom to set in. And on that note, allow me to invite Nyakusa for an item before we usher in the next panelist for the second discussion. Nyakusa, please take it away. Just move this side and have this. Hakuna watu wanatuangusha kama vijana kutoka Homa Bay. Kaunti ni yenu, wimbo ni yetu. Sisi tunakatika, nyinyi mkiwa mmetulia tu tulituli. Thank you so much. Asanteni sana, asante sana Team Nyakusa for that item. I want us to have the last item before the discussion. And this will be coming from none other than Mike Tyson. Karibu sana Tyson.
Hello. My name is Tyson. I'm a spoken word artist and I have a piece. Thank you. Walisema ujana ni moshi, lakini vijana wengi wameamua ujana ni doshi. Soaps tuna wash, lakini akili bado zioshwi. Vijana tuko na potential ya kuongoza leo, lakini bado tuko kwa vileo. So that's why wengi wamebelieve tutakuwa leaders of tomorrow, tomorrow which God says is not even promised. Vijana wako na idea ya kufanya biashara, lakini pia bado nawapeleka hasara. Maboy wengi wameinvest kwa mademu wameinvest kwa beauty. If you continue this week utapata wapi future investors wa kesho? Ndo maana gavana disciple wazee to position meant for youth. Are we really serious? Unalala hadi 9 na plot unastay, hakuna parking lot ya gari. Are we really serious? Kama wakusengeni buda tia bidii. Kama bado na umana transaction cost buda zidi kutia bidii. Na kama unabeba toothbrush na toothpaste ukienda safari endelea kutia bidii. Kumbuka, today is the tomorrow you talked about yesterday, and tomorrow you're talking about today is just few hours away. Check this. The lack of dedication is an insult to those who believe in you. Wewe unajidoubt na kuna wenye wako jealous of your potential. Pull up your socks bana. Unataka soft life but don't find it hard to face the hard truth. Wewe unathink of marriage proposal at the age of thinking about business proposal. Uko kwa sababu ina breed jealousy. Living a life of fantasy. Wewe na best yako mnatembea mkutupu laughing at those driving old cars. Hakuna kitu kujanga for free. Kumbuka, a poor man's greeting still were mistaken for begging. A contented life is a blessed life. Protect your space, kijana. Privacy is power. Sometimes saying less means more. Vijana tuna uwezo. Vijana amkeni. Vijana changamkeni. Vilisiu changamkia mafomu na mandom. We are not the leaders of tomorrow. We are the leaders of today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tyson, for that amazing piece. Makofi yake jamani. 3, David clap for Tyson. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Now allow me to take this opportunity to appreciate all of us for having stayed put even as we continue with the deliberations. Now in our second panel, and to give the first seat to the Youth Director, Siaya County. Karibu sana mkuu. The first seat is yours, the Youth Director, Siaya County. Youth Director, Siaya County. Youth Director, Siaya County, wherever you are. I'm told you're outside. Youth Director, Siaya County. We are looking for you in vain, Youth Director, Siaya County. The second seat should be for the Director, Youth Homa Bay. Director, Youth Homa Bay, the second seat. Youth Director, Siaya County, the first seat. Youth Director, Homa Bay County, the second seat. On the third seat, Director, Youth, Youth MCA Siaya. The Youth MCA Siaya. The fourth seat is Youth Director Kakamega. And lastly, the only seat remaining between me and the Youth Director Kakamega is for none other than the CEC Gender, Kisumu County. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa. Karibu. Karibuni sana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is also yet another amazing team that is here for a discussion and deliberation I want to believe that we are all eyes open, ears wide open, more than the eyes, to hear and heart what they going to discuss with us. Thank you so much. Now, even before we start, allow me to give this chance to the CEC Gender Kisumu County to at least have a brief of introduction, because the others did. She had not arrived yet. Karibu sana, Waziri.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Peter Zedo, the CCI for Sports, Culture, Arts, Gender, and Youth Affairs, Kisumu County. I'm sorry I came in late because of other engagements, but I'm so happy even the engagement where I was engaging young people. So indeed today is a great day for me and for my department. I've gotten a brief of the discussions from yesterday and today, and I believe out of here, for the benefit of the participants, we have a change and we will have learned something that we can share with others who are not sharing with us. Allow me also bring on board the greetings from His Excellency the Governor, Professor Peter Nyanyo, the Governor of the Great County of Kisumu. We call it Europe. He's aware that I was to be here this time, and he requested me to pass his greeting to our visitors from Siaya, Kakamega, Homa Bay, and also to welcome you and tell you to feel free when you're in Kisumu County. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Waziri. Allow me to welcome all of you to this discussion. I want to believe that this will be the most interactive and focused discussion that would echo out our issues as you. Now, just to start with the youth directors from the various counties, allow me to take this opportunity to ask the four of you, the way you're seated, starting with the youth director from Siaya County. Now, we realize that the rate of youth unemployment is on the rise. And in fact, when we talk of new employment, even in the county government, it is highly notable that employment focus, it is a perception, focuses on the non-youth other than the youth. Are there strategies that you people are putting in place to help us as youth secure these opportunities in the county?
Thank you very much. As an effort towards improving the situation of employment in Siaya County, we have employed youth coordinators in every sub-county. And we have a county youth coordinator who works with sub-county youth coordinators to try and identify potential amongst young people and share those potentials with other agencies that recruit or offer forms of capacity building and subsequent employment.
Thank you so much. I want to believe that what probably works in Siaya might equally work in Homa Bay or Kisumu or might not. Could there be any other thing that you want to add to that effect? The CEC, not the CEC, but the youth director from Homa Bay.
Thank you very much. My name is Silas Ramba. Now, as you rightly put it, that there are certain aspects or components that will work in all of our counties, but there are some that are unique. And I think the elephant in the house, if I heard you very clearly, is that if there are 10 opportunities of employment in Homa Bay, how many go to the youth? I think that is the question that these young men and women here would want to be answered, right? We all agree that we have a challenge in terms of employment opportunities, but out of the 10, how many go to the youth? Sinamna hiyo? Yeah, we need to actually be honest with ourselves and ask difficult questions, right? you'll excuse me, I know I'm here with my bosses, but at some point, when it comes to matters youth, you might want to put the gloves down to get it right. Anyway, in Homa Bay, we have had certain opportunities of employment when we came into government. And what we did, Her Excellency, the governor employed an affirmative action towards giving those opportunities to the youth. Currently, we have done a tool which is going to all the departments and to the Department of Human Resources to give us a data on the new employment opportunities that we have had. The youths that have been captured into those opportunities. We will be using this tool to monitor how affirmative action is being implemented towards addressing the plight of the youth in Homa Bay County.
Thank you so much. If I may ask, on this particular tool or document that you people developed in Homa Bay County, have you started taking stock of the parity or the difference between what used to happen initially with regards to youth employment or employment uptake of youths in the county of Homa Bay, for instance? Is this tool in any way helping you in taking stock of what transpires in the, it's called the Public Service Board?
Yeah, you know, when you come up with a tool, during the implementation, then there are certain learnings that come out of it. So we have just come up with the tool, we are just rolling it out. So to give us a mirror of what used to happen in the former government, will come out when we have this report from the HR department, right? So that we can now mirror it with what we have today. And of course, we have to be realistic that it has to capture the same period, right? You cannot compare opportunities given out of maybe 300 who have been employed, and then you compare it with 3,000 that were employed in the last government. It has to be, statistically, it has to be the same sample size, right? Yeah, so we hope that when we are fully done, then we'll be able to do reporting on the same.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I get to understand that there's a tool. This tool, they are on the implementation stage. So far, as a strategy, remember we are talking of the strategies that you people are employing to look into the aspect of youth unemployment. Now, as a strategy, you've only talked of the tool. Is there any other strategy that you people have that takes care of the youth in Homa Bay?
Yeah, you see, we must agree that youth empowerment or unemployment, rather, I wanted to say that employment is not the only component of youth empowerment, right? Empowerment transcends, and I think when we were here in the last session, there was one thing which was common in all the counties. I don't know if you'll allow me to be interactive and ask the plenary if someone can tell me one thing that was common towards youth empowerment in all the counties when the speakers were speaking. Anyone? So that we know that we are actually here to take certain things home.
Okay.
No one.
There's a hand here.
I'm Yonita. Most of the speakers were talking about the agriculture, trainings of agriculture.
Thank you very much. That was the big one, right? Almost every county talked of agriculture and agribusiness. In Homa Bay, we are working with the youth and development partners to onboard our youth into smart agriculture, right? And currently, we have the figures. We have onboarded 6,000 youths. The first cohort was 1,200. Then now we are bringing the second cohort at 4,500. And these 4,500 are called mentees. The 1,200 are their mentors. So much so that if I'm a mentor, I'm doing smart agriculture at home. 3 or 10 of our youths will come. I demonstrate to them. They see it themselves, what I'm doing. and then they go and replicate it. So this is being done. We are working together with Practical Action on this program under the Department of Agriculture to onboard the youth into smart agriculture. Agriculture is big in terms of employment and empowerment. What we are having, which we must appreciate, is that we also have a gap in skills, right? There's a gap in what they call green skills. So as Homa Bay County, we have put this in place, and we are working with several partners on the same to onboard our youth into agriculture. This is the game changer when it comes to youth unemployment.
Thank you so much. I think we are headed in the right direction now, right? And now, let me take this opportunity also to extend this to the youth MCA from Siaya County. On to what the youth director and the fellow youth director from both Siaya and Homa Bay. Is there any other thing or any other strategy that you feel now that you walked into the assembly or you found yourself into the assembly representing the interest of the youth? Are there any other things to that effect that you feel you've been adding to this or championing that would enable us or enable enhancement of employment uptakes by the youth?
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to say that our major role in the County Assembly is 1, oversight, 2, representation, and 3, legislation. Through oversight role, we've been able to make noise to the executive whenever employment opportunities come up, that there must be a representation of the young people in these employment opportunities, together with persons living with disabilities and women. Whenever such a list comes to the Assembly without these people in that list, we normally reject it, and I'm a champion to that. Number 2, we are also having I have an advantage of doing sometimes allocating budgets to the young people. One thing I realized was that agribusiness is a very big platform that can employ unemployed youths. So I budgeted with about 5 million for an agribusiness conference which is going to take place in Siaya later in the year. That will also be helping the young people to get opportunity. Apart from that, I'm always a change maker. I don't just sit where I am, but I believe in doing something different to impact in the life of a young person. Realizing that the young people of Siaya didn't have jobs, I've come up with an idea of having a database, and a database sort of a bank, of the qualifications of young people who are jobless, and through different sources, I've been in communication with different governments internationally, where we could get opportunity for our young people. We call it labor export, and it's something which is very passionate to myself, and I do it as an HR practitioner and expert. It is something that I believe if it comes to fruition, it will help the young people of Siaya. Apart from that, together with Davis, who was here, we are at an inception stage of coming up with a Siaya Youth Hub, where we'll be able to promote orange economy, the culture that we do. We will bring together any other youth who are doing an activity which could be financially beneficial to themselves. And that right now we are at the stage of having an MOU with the national government to use some of their existing facilities, because we find that having a facility from scratch becomes very difficult. So we have to use what is already there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is amazing. I'm happy to get the other aspect of labor export. I think it is something that is, if you take keen interest of it in Siaya, then definitely at its fruition, you'll definitely reach out to very many youth in terms of linkages to employment within and outside Siaya County. Thank you so much. Now, looking at this from the broader perspective, to our brothers and sisters in Kakamega County, anything that is probably different with what has been voiced from the 2 other counties?
Thank you very much. I think Kakamega County, I'm the County Director, Youth Affairs from the national government. I want to make that distinction so that I don't talk to about the county government of Kakamega, because I may not be qualified to do that. But I talk as the County Director from the national government. Now, at the national level, there are structures which we have come up with in terms of policy to address youth unemployment. One of these key factors is we carry out a number of entrepreneurship trainings so that we change the attitude and the mindset of the young people from looking at the white collar jobs and focus on the blue collar jobs. The other aspect is on affordable credit through devolved funds, and these devolved funds are youth enterprise fund, we have the women enterprise, we have the WESO, which offer affordable credits to the young people so that they can be able to do business. However, as one of the panelists pointed out on the issue of the youth, especially the women, we also have realized that women-led groups do better than the men-led groups in terms of repayments of these funds. Maybe one of the key challenges is that these women, they are married within the locality where they are coming from. Unlike the male youth who are migratory to various parts, and whenever they form these groups to access the funds, we find that there are challenges because they share the money and then disappear. The other aspect which we are doing, we have the talent search through Talanta Hela, and what we have is, at the moment, we are scouting for 1 million youth talents nationally through Who is Next Talent Search. And we are doing this talent identification throughout all the sub-counties. We are profiling our data on youth skills. We are doing an audit on youth skills through the Ministry of Labor, so that we can be able to understand which skills the young people have and see how they can be assisted. And to address the issue of unemployment, as one of the panelists has said about the labor export, His Excellency the President, recently you heard that he went to Korea to look for 10,000 jobs for the young people. We are developing structures we are coming up with structures which are structured to ensure that we have government-to-government agreement on labor export, so that when our young people go to these countries, they are not disadvantaged. Especially, we have read through the news about our young people who are going to countries like Saudi Arabia, and even there is one who is supposed to be executed because he fought a Saudi Arabian. So we are coming up with a structured way so that through the government, these young people do not go to those countries on their own. Because when they go to these countries on their own, whenever they are faced with challenges, as a government, we may not be able to understand the challenges which they are facing. The other issue to address the issue of unemployment, we had a program called KEOP, the Kenya Youth Employment Opportunity Program, to empower young people with skills. Especially, during this program, we were not looking at the elite youth. We were looking at the hard-to-serve youth who are left out in terms of services to the young people. This is a special category of the youth who nobody imagines that they exist. The hard-to-serve youth are street youth leading a household, youth living with various disabilities, youth who have dropped out of school. Maybe at the primary level, and also youth who are not in school, they are not in employment, neither are they in training. So this program was to address how these youth can be employed. However, we are scaling up that program, and we are calling it NYOTA, so that it will be rolled out in all the 47 counties, so that youth can now be able to to benefit out of that program.
Thank you so much. I'm a bit interested in the last bit of the KEOP, the KEOP, the Kenya Youth Employment Opportunities Program, that ran for some time, and again towards cycle 7B,
Yes.
it stopped. And then you're saying you're rebranding to Nyota. Can we also anticipate from what time frame will this start?
Yeah, this program will be a 5-year program which starts around the month of August, because we were waiting for the budget so that we had a commitment from the World Bank, but the government had not put in the funds because the World Bank was only supporting some counties, and the government has also to bring in funds to support other counties so that the program is rolled out throughout all the 47 counties. However, this program will stagger. It will not be implemented in all the counties as it is. We shall stagger the counties as we did during KEOP, because KEOP started here in Kisumu, Nairobi, and Mombasa, and then later on it was rolled out to other counties, at the 17 counties.
Thank you so much. I want to believe that some of these youth, if you did not in any way gain skills from the KEOP trainings, then you really need to brace for this other Nyota that is coming up, because if you're a youth and you have an opportunity and you're able to get it from there, definitely this will scale you up. It has to very many youth. And again, if you've had clearly what we discussed with this particular team, there's a lot that is being done to the youth. Someone talked about information access or access to information, that probably these are happening, but they are hidden somewhere. We do not have that information or how to access that information so that we are able to be proactive rather than being reactive. Someone mentioned here of a youth being reactive about a resource center somewhere because he lacked information. So I think that is something that is also very key that we really need to look into. I don't know if there would be something that would be coming different from Kisumu that can also help us to reduce unemployment from the CEC.
Thank you. I think I want to comment what the panelists have contributed to, and I think mine will be specifically to talk to the young people. For me, from where I sit, there is an opportunity for everybody. The issue is, how do you look at the opportunity, positivity in terms of life? I've heard it mentioned about KEOP. I'm the second lot who benefited from the same KEOP. And you realize that by the time you were starting, I think you were in Kisumu, we started around 60 people. We ended up graduating 10 people. Whom do we blame? The youth. Because it was being paid for, we were being given 6,000 per month. That is an opportunity. So whom do we blame? But to me, from where I sit, I believe those who dropped out on the way dropped because somebody felt like it is not helping me. Maybe the 6,000 is taking too long for me to get it. You want to go there today and get the 6,000 the same day or 2 days after. But us, who are able to persevere for the 6 months, I graduated, I got my 6,000 per month. It was paid twice. After 3 months, you are paid for the first 3 months, and then for the next 3 months, you are paid for the next 3 months. That is one. And that is, to me, through that program, I know many people who are we were with the same class, who some of them opened their salons. Me, I got skills on now to participate in an interview. How you handle yourself when you go for an interview. It had a lot of components in terms of life skills training. So it helped me because from there, actually I can say there's an interview that I went for NIGE. There's an organization called NIGE. I went for that interview.
And I got it. It is just through the life skills that I got through here. The reason why I was mentioning this is because, you know, when you talk about employment opportunity in the context of the county government, one, there was something that was mentioned here about the agri. There is something in our mind that all of us believe, for me to call myself employed, then the government should employ me or a private entity should employ me. While where you sit as a young person, you can be an employer of other young people. I want to give an example of the AGPO that we all know, as much as we talk about lack of information, but this thing has been sung all along. We have what is called digital platform. You can access website hapa. But you will get 20% of the young people, they use the digital platform negatively. Some of us use it to market products that we have, that is business, that is employment. Some of us use it to abuse our elders, our leaders. What do you gain? It is an employment opportunity. How many people are using the phone to sell their products and they're doing great? It is an employment opportunity. If you come to the issue of the AGPO, or the reason why I wanted to talk about this, because people talk about employment opportunity within the county. The county cannot employ everybody. Just the other day, Kisumu County advertised opportunity under the Department of Agriculture. We had many people who had retired, and these vacancies needed to be filled. And I'm so happy that 90% of the people who are employed are young people, youth, aged between 18 to 30. And you know what? People who are employed, we were only having opportunity of 150 people. And 3,000 people applied. And they're all young people. And remember, finally, the county will not take more than what they have in terms of the budget and the opportunities. They ended up taking the 150. It means that out of the 3,000 that applied, we still have 2,850 left hanging. So if this 2,850 did not get employment at the county through the Department of Agriculture, we still have opportunities like YACO. How many of us are thinking about, I want to be a CEO? When you register a company, you are a CEO, you are a director at a young age. How do I go for this opportunity? My officer, Mr. Rude, mentioned about us having the gender mainstreaming committee in each and every department. Ours is to get a report on a quarterly basis in terms of how many youths benefited under YACO, how many women benefited under YACO, and how many PWDs benefited under YACO. This YACO, the government created it to be an employment opportunity for the young people. And you know what? To your surprise, and I know Homa Bay will be the same, Kakamega will be the same, any county will be the same. If you get the report today as we sit here, you will realize the county has met the target of achieving the 30% that is meant for the youth, the women, and the people with disability. We can put a report on the table. But dig down into this report. Somebody took a youth ID, used the ID to register the business. From where I sit as a CC, my procurement has reported this is a youth doing the business. In reality, the person behind this business is not a youth. But he has allowed somebody to use ID, just people being given 1,000, give me your ID and register. You only realize these cases when now the KRA is out requesting for tax. Somebody is like, somebody did a business of 3 million with my name, now the KRA want money, I don't have the money, but my ID was used. Whom do we blame? The youth. So finally, in terms of again bringing the employment opportunities that we have, I really do want to appeal to our young people. We launched a strategy, Youth in Agribusiness Strategy. When we launched this strategy, we did it in partnership with the GIZ. As we speak, so many young people have been taken to training. So many people have been supported in terms of starting up businesses. Just the other week, we were in the field looking at the youths doing fish cages. The county provided fingerlings, the linings. Actually, you see some, you go somewhere and you're like, do you want the county to come and dig for you the hole? Somebody you offer fingerlings to start a fish cake, they sell the fingerlings. Whom do you blame, surely? And you go to another youth who was just doing motorbike business, decided now I want to do agri-business. Through that agri-business of doing fish caking, he has done his home, he has a motorbike he bought for himself, he's not renting anymore. And every market day, be it market day on Thursday in Kachito, the wife is having tomatoes going to sell. There is no single day, the young man told us, there is no single day he can lack 500 shillings. And you know he did what? Electrical engineering. But he has ventured into agriculture. So we may not look at it like the county governments will take all of us to employ. It will not work. But they give us the spaces. What matters? How do we reflect on these spaces? Do I see like, nilifanya engineering, lazima tu county nipe kasi ya engineer. County needs maybe only 10 engineers, and you are 10,000 engineers within the county. They will not employ all of us. So it is the attitude, number one, and it is the perception that we have. What do you want for yourself? And it depends on an individual, not on the county, but as an individual.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think it is loud and clear, right? And again, it comes out that accountability and responsibility of the youth in all this that we are saying is key. How then do we react to such opportunities or openings as youth? That is the most important challenge that is coming from Waziri that we need to acknowledge. Just on that cue still on Waziri, allow me to ask if under the economic empowerment aspect, yesterday we had a discussion on economic empowerment here, taking in keen interest the components of economic empowerment. For say, that has been even voiced here on entrepreneurship, financial literacy, skilling up of the youth, and all this. Seemingly this is lapsing and getting out of hand. Is there anything that we're doing to ensure that this is targeting or majorly focusing the young person? Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is a very good question, and it has come at the right time. You know, when we talk about economic empowerment, it is wide. And the reason why I'm saying it has come at the right time, I think for me and my department, I really want to appreciate the national government. I've been keenly working with the national government. When I got into the office, I decided to take data from Youth Enterprise Fund. And I realized that in terms of the uptake, Kisumu County was at 4%. And in the spirit of partnership and working together for the same community, we did a sensitization program in Nyakach sub-county and Seme sub-county. As we speak, the report I have on my table, it moved from 4% to 40%. That is economic empowerment. Because these people will get money, will start up their businesses. Number two, we have creative economy. It is also an opportunity. And I want to report that as a county, we've been working through the Ministry of Arts and the Youth Affairs. We've trained more than 2,000 artists within Kisumu County. He mentioned that the other day the president was in South Korea, and if you are all keen on what he was saying about creative economy. How do you use the talent that you have to make money? We have stories we can tell, but you sit these people down, they did wake up today, sang today, and became famous tomorrow. A story of Jalamo, if you all know story of Jalamo, where did he start? If you've seen his creatives of Wanga, how he started from somewhere. So it is when you talk about the economy and in terms of financial literacy, it cuts across. Where are you majorly talented in? Me, I can be a musician. When I go for a training, I specifically go for a training under music empowerment for me to know how does my singing bring me money. I just saw my sister here singing Nyakusa. That is her part, and she's making money out of that singing, what she's doing. And I think for Kisumu County, we even partnered with the Kenya Film. Are you in the film industry? Are you making films? You see Nigerians making money, becoming millionaires with the films. Ask, what are you doing with that talent that God has given you? We've seen the poets. The other day we were having the East Africa Poetic Hour battle in Kisumu County, and Honorable Babu Namomba joined us. And out of that performance for the young people that they perform, they picked out some youth who is going to give an opportunity somewhere to showcase what they have. So when you talk about the economy, we should open our mind broadly. That it does not mean that I must sell Mtumba for me to be economically empowered. It doesn't mean that I must maybe have a company do tender for me to be economically empowered. It is broad. I can be economically empowered through doing agricultural activities. I can do chicken rearing. I can be an artist. You can do the visual artist, and you get money. So I think when we talk about economic empowerment and giving advice to our young people, we should open our mind broadly. And I want to say something here, very openly. These government offices, you have a right, let me tell you. Let nobody tell you, like, you go to an office, you request for information, somebody tells you, I should not give you that information. No, you have a right. If somebody tells you cannot give you the opportunity to get the information, knock the next office, ask what is there for me. Can I get this information? Like in Kisumu County, you come to my office, you don't get the information. It will never happen. Because in Kisumu County, we operate on an open door policy. You don't get me, you get to the office of the governor, he will be there to ask, this information is needed, why can't you give out this information? So I think ours is just to, not, of course we have offices, you go there and people have attitude, but you should not be discouraged. Like for example, you hear people saying, if you go to youth enterprise office, watakujibu vibaya. My question is, if I went to youth enterprise office in Kisumu Central, so constituency, mtu amenijibu vibaya, why can't I go to the Kisumu East constituency? All these offices are there. And if I didn't get what I want, why can't I go to the county commissioner's office? Because I believe when you are focused that you know what you want and what you should have in your mind, always anything you want, you will meet mountains, you will meet valleys, but how do you get to where you want to get what you want? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Waziri. You have something to add on that? Okay. In less than a minute?
Yes.
Okay.
Additionally on what Waziri has said, I want to talk about ACPO. Somebody made a statement here that youth get those procurement opportunities and they sell them. You should not do that. There is a window where you can do business with the government with zero capital. We have what we call LPO financing. When the procurement entity gives you an LPO to provide for those particular services or goods, you can go to any bank because an LPO is as good as a land title deed. You can use it in any bank, and any bank which sees you with an LPO from a procurement entity, they'll rush for you because they know that that is ready money. No LPO is given without money being on an account. Number two is that the same on ACPO is that young people you need to take into account. You have to make those ones who hold procurement entities accountable. Not only focusing on the county government, but do you do contracts with CDF? Wale waheshimiwa wenye mnapigia kura, do you do business? Do they give you business opportunities? Because I know from Kakamega, where I come from, I know that there are very less youth who have even almost zero. We have nothing to report on ACPO because we ask the youth and they will tell you that mimi sina hiyo pesa, but let me give you the good news. An LPO is as good as a title deed. You walk with it into any bank. You want 10 million, will be given.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes?
Can I just build on something you said on the LPO? One challenge which we always face with this one, I story with young people a lot, is that some banks shy away from funding this. Reason being, sometimes the counties take too long to pay you. So the bank will also shy to give you this money because it will take forever. And when it's taking forever, the interest rates grow. So at the end of the day, you shall have ended up not making anything. So I think it's just a voice that we should voice up that whenever youths are given tenders through the platform of AGPO, they should expedite on the process of payment so that they don't.
If you are keen on its sentiments, he said it is not specifically meant for county government. Because in the context of the county government, we all know that county is waiting for money from treasury, which in many cases delays. So I want to stick to what she has said and again support what she has said. Because the 30% is not specifically meant for the county government. What about other parastatals who must also meet the 30%? I think even nowadays, even the organizations, you must meet the 30% in terms of procurement. So if the county will delay because of the delay in terms of disbursements, how do I move to pipeline? How do I move to Kenya Power? How do I move to other parastatals that we have? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think in less than a minute and a half, then we move to the next thing.
Thank you very much. I think the AGPO issue has been handled pretty well. I just wanted to add that as young people, we have a big opportunity in the climate change space. And in Homa Bay County, we're working with the FLOCA program. I don't know anyone who has heard of FLOCA here. Anyone? FLOCA? Yeah? Here in Kisumu, right? Poor. Yeah, so in Homa Bay, we are onboarding our youths, and every committee has 2 youths, so it means that in Homa Bay alone, we have 80 youths in those committees, and we are engaging them in promoting or rather developing tree nurseries right now, which we are going to buy seedlings from them. So that is an area that we are really working on. And when you talk about skilling, you asked a question on skilling. We have a program in Homa Bay where we are doing skills development in the green jobs space. And last month, I attended a conference in Nairobi on green jobs, and it came out that we have 1 million opportunities, but the problem is we have a skills gap. So we are working with the Win Kenya, which is a German organization, to train our youths in green skills. And right now, we have already graduated the 2 cohort of 82 youths. That is happening right now. And Her Excellency the Governor also appreciates the fact that we have these gaps, and she launched a scholarship. We call it Fundi Mangola. And it is targeting our youths who are down there and who are interested in doing courses in the vocational training centers. And right now, we have onboarded 600 youths across the county. They are in the VTCs right now, being fully funded by the county government.
Thank you so much. And lastly,
Thank you very much. I want to appeal to all of us here because this session is for sharing and for learning, and also having a take-home message for our young people. I think we will be burying our head in the sand to say the opportunities there, the young people should take them up, because at the end of the day, it's about money. Do they have the resources to be able to do those things? So if we could use such forums to be able to learn how to mobilize resources so that these businesses can be started up or these projects can be done. We did train 100 people in film production by Kenya Film Commission, like I think some other counties. We did train and provide seeds for young people to start tree nurseries. But without capital and without ongoing resources, these things cannot flourish. So what can we do as people working with young people, and as young people ourselves who have got a network? How can we mobilize resources and have a fund that can help us? Because film production requires equipment. All these other jobs require equipment. So we cannot all the time say young people are not applying themselves. We had a summit with young people 2 years ago. And they said we do not want, because we have training programs and mentorship. They said, just how many certificates can we be having in our drawers? We have enough of them. And nobody ever goes out there to study border writing. It is because there's no alternative. So why can't we get something that will put food on the table for us? Border is a ready-made, quick fix. We say, okay, we'll give you training for 3 months so that you can have some practical skills. And then they said, how are we going to be eating day by day? We can't sit there for 3 months that we are going to be taught a skill to be able to produce some income. So it is a chicken and egg situation, but at the end of it all, we need some fund that can support young people to be able to venture into business. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think it's now amazing that we're also thinking of scaling up the youth. After scaling up the youth, what next? This youth who've been scaled up might not necessarily be in a position to take it up from there. But again, even as
may I just comment on what she said?
Sorry.
About the capital, just one comment. She works with the county government, and we know the resources that the county government has. When we talk about giving the funds, we have Hustler Fund. How many people took the Hustler Fund and repaid to develop their businesses? You see, I'm so happy with the attitude. Mwingine anasema baba alisema tusilipe, sivyo? Mwingine pia anasema it was 500 shillings, sivyo? So the two comments, I want to compare the two comments. Mwingine anasema it was 500 shillings, mwingine anasema baba alisema tusilipe. Si mwenye anasema baba alisema tusilipe, it is an attitude of us saying this is government money, we will not repay. The same way the Youth Enterprise Fund is giving money to our young people, they are not repaying. And the issue of non-repayment has made other entities like banks to fear the young people. Because they take, then they say this is our money, we are not paying. On the issue of my young girl who has said it was only 500 shillings. How many people start business with 1 million and succeed? Kila mtu anazaliwa, it is a journey. Unazaliwa, you scroll, you walk, you sit, then you're able to do something. Start small, think big. So even with 500, you can start a business. It is attitude.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that is where we are headed. Change of attitude, and someone called it mindset. Even as we think of having entrepreneurship mindset or coming out of the white collar job mindset, then we as the youth need skill. Other than the skill, relevant funding. Hustler Fund will be very relevant. Very relevant. We acknowledge and accept. Other than being relevant too, the terms might be are very flexible for us as youth. Probably our expectation is way too bigger than the Hustler Fund. But we can start small to grow big. Thank you, Waziri, for reminding us that there's quite a lot to tap into rather than just the perception and the mindset that we have or attitude that we have towards these funds. I think after that we are changing gears and we want to note that.
Let me tell you, young people, that money is not illegal. Even if it is 500 shillings, that is not illegal. I graduated from the university in 1991. Listen. I graduated in 1991. I want to tell you my story.
Kindly.
Just for 1 minute. For 1 minute. And I was able to save 3,000 shillings from my boom. When I went to the village, I started a business. Within 1 year, when I was 24 years, I had my first 1 million shillings. 1 million shillings from 3,000 shillings. I never stole from somebody. The business, let me tell you, the business that I was doing, the biggest challenge that we have as young people is that we do not scout the environment from which we come from and see what opportunities lie within that environment. And I normally tell my young people in Kakamega that Poverty is a choice. Poverty is a choice. I want to share the business. I opened a small kiosk and I realized that in Kakamega, many people would spend a lot of money on funerals. So I used to go to funerals, take their budget, go get a credit from the wholesale, supply, and then these funerals, they pay me a lot of money. That is what I used to do. When I hear somebody is dead, ninaenda hapo nawaambia, mimi najua kwamba mna budget. Nipatieni budget yenu, nifanye namna gani? I supply, and then will pay me later. I made money out of it. And that is why within 1 year, that is how I was able to make 1 million shillings.
And the times are different, right?
No, times are not different. Times are the same.
Thank you. Thank you. I think to the floor, it is important to note that when you ask a question, you need a response. Now, in response to what you're asking of the nature of the business. To me, that is very interesting. It was a gap, it was an opportunity that raised money for him. Can you scout your environment and see what is relevant today? You understand? So do not insist that life is different. That was then, this is now. That is the attitude and the mindset that we are talking about that we need to change.
Just to add, she's saying Asra is giving 500 shillings. How much do you buy the pack of water that has 24 bottles in it?
About 5 or 400.
400.
Yes.
If I decide to buy that water at 400, with the 500 shillings that the Hustler Fund has given me, I sell it at places you go there, it is sold at 30 shillings. At places you go there, it is sold at 50 shillings. Let me say I go to a funeral. With this my 1 packet of water, which is the funeral is within my village. And I say, I want to go and sell this water. I only have 500. Then I go to sell this water. It is a pack of 24, sold at 50 shillings. How much does it come to? 50 times 24. A very simple
1,200.
You've started your business. You've kicked off. And it is something you can sell. You get to the funeral at around 9. By 11, you've sold 1 packet. You rush to the nearest market. You take 2 packets. You come back, you sell. At the end of the day, you have either 3,000 or 5,000 as a profit. You can decide, do I continue doing this business in the funerals the way he did? It is a decision and it is a business.
Thank you, thank you. Now, I want us to move a little bit faster, and I will only be allowing one person to react to a question this time round. What dominates our spaces is climate change, right? And in climate change, what we get clearly is we need to develop resilience, right? We'll give time for questions. We'll give, just if you have a question, just note it down. We'll give time for questions, right? So under climate change, in terms of budgeting, climate change budgeting, what is this one thing that we are doing as a team to help us in development of this from both the national and the county levels? Just in a minute, under climate change budgeting. Yes, anyone was a response to that?
There's FLOCA, where young people also coming in to form committees to address climate issues. In the county assembly, we've also budgeted for like 2 million on this program of FLOCA. Yes, I think that is something different that we're doing.
Okay. Thank you. Honorable, you want to add something?
I just want to mention that if you look at in terms of climate change, that is one of the areas that people are now tapping into in terms of getting resources. As a county, we have climate change committee right from the village level. Remember in Kisumu County, we have administration from the village administrators, ward administrators, sub-county administrators. At the same village level under climate change, we have the village units where through the village units and the village administrators, we have a council. In terms of this council, there is a representation of the youth, PWD, a representation from the church. So it comes from the village level across to the county level. At the county, the governor is the chair. At the sub-county, the sub-county officer is the chair. Then at the ward administrator is the chair. Then at the village level, the village administrator is the chair. So for Kisumu County, we already have the bill signed by the governor. It is effective currently. Actually, even the projects that we have under FLOC were proposed through the committees from the village level. So I think the only thing that again comes with the especially in terms of the funds support that we get in terms of this funding. If you look at this funding, all of them, including be it FLOC, be it KUP, be it WARD, they also have a regulation that you must have PWD involved, you must have women involved, you must have the young people involved, so the representation cuts across. What is there that we must be alive to? Not all of us can be in that committee.
Thank you.
The committee has to have 2 youths per village, there's only 2 youths will be taken, not 30 youths.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I think the other questions that are here probably had been handled in the previous session. The next question here was on meaningful youth participation in budget planning. I think this was handled well in the previous sessions, right? We need not to buy much time there. And then now in feedback mechanism, is it possible that we give youth response to their concerns after these processes? Like when we have a public participation for either the CIDP or the ADP. After this, is it possible to also give us feedback that as a team or as a youth, you people proposed this, however, we are not able to do this because of A, B, C, D, or we are taking this direction because of this. Kindly, in less than a minute, the youth MCA.
Thank you so much. I want to talk about the feedback mechanism, and I believe that communication is one thing which is very important. When you are not informed, then you'll be able to speculate and not have factual information. I think it will just be in order to give feedback because we are living in reality and not in fantasies. We can propose so many things which are so beautiful to hear, but when you go, you find that you are constrained with resources. So it's very important to have open discussions and give feedback, what is workable and what is not workable, and to have solutions on how to forge ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much. I think I just want to observe that it would be bad manners to sit down with the people, come up with a proposal, and then upon implementation, definitely there are some gaps, then you disappear. You have to give feedback. And for example, in Homa Bay, all the projects normally have what we call the PMCs. These PMCs involve the youth. And they would actually propose the projects that they would want to run. And then I think you've heard from almost all of us here, we talk of budgetary allocations, right? We are not talking about absorption. Sinamna hiyo. We might have very beautiful and flowery budgetary allocations, but if you go down to absorption, there are challenges. So whenever these challenges come up, there must be a feedback mechanism to those who are proposed them. So that is very important at the end.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I think lastly, you have something to add?
Something before we go to the next concern about the issue of feedback. I think number one, I want to say that county carries out public participation, not just specifically during the budget process, but even during the policy making. Any policy that the county does, there must be a public participation. If we are not able to get feedback in terms of, again, doing a public participation, I believe all these documents, be it a policy, be it a budget document, they are normally uploaded at the website. of each and every county. And that is what happens in Kisumu County. But again, for Kisumu County, we've come up with another idea, which is currently taking place through the Department of Public Service, which is called Huduma Mashinani. The Huduma Mashinani comes up after the budget implementation is done. Like right now as we speak, we know we have 2 weeks to the closure of the financial year by 30th June. As we speak, the Department of Public Service is currently carrying out Huduma Mashinani. They have done in 2 sub-counties. The reason for doing this is to check. We proposed 10 projects. Of course, what is implemented is what is finally passed at the assembly. Out of the 10 that we proposed, 6 was passed at the assembly. Now, Huduma Mashinani comes into us. As a community, this hospital was to be built. The PMC committee is there. Was it done to the standards of the BQ? Has it been done to completion? So that is also a strategy that the Kisumu County is taking currently, and we did it last year, it really came out so well, and this financial year we are again doing it as we close the financial year, just to see how we've performed in terms of both the projects and the programs.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think up to that end, I want to call it to a close. And even as we internalize this, we will want to take this opportunity to also get questions and responses from the participants. This time round, I want to give a chance to 7 people. Make your questions as short and precise as possible. 7 will be okay with you? Or just 3? 3? 7, 10. allow me to pick 7. The first one that I'm picking is from this lady.
Good afternoon. My name is Masio Mondi, and my question go to our panelist from Kakamega. I heard you talking about something to do with sport, empowering youths through sports. And my question is, what are some of the criteria that you people are going to use to select those people who are talented? Because if you allow me, I was once a player, and I had a chance to be selected to go and play for Arabo Stars. But then we trained, but 3 days we were told that meaning you are dog, you still have time to play with the and so to Kawatu. So many things have been going on. We've seen players sleeping at the airport, some of them lacking visas to go out to represent our country. And I heard you talking of representatives in each and every sub-county. What are some of the criteria that you're going to use so that if these people are selected from this sub-county, we are sure that these people are going to represent our county or at the national government, maybe outside or just national? Thank you.
Thank you so much. The second one from this side. Allow me to pick you.
Thank you. My name is Julius Tega, and for me, it's a request. I'm here to use my passion now to empower youth. I've heard that we are talking about all the challenges that you are passing through and everything, and my desire since I was in Form 1 was to be a mentor, a youth speaker. And I've been working day and night for the past 4 years, interacting with youth, peers, and I've come with a solution which I use the strategy of goal setting, decision making, and action taking. I came to discover that most of us, we don't have goals in every area of their life. So starting with personal, financial, academic, spiritual, community. So we need to have goals in every area. So my request is those organizations plus nimesikia kuna mingi sana youth groups. So I'm here to partner with all of us. I'm to volunteer and work with every youth group because my passion was to be the #1 youth speaker in Kenya. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to pick 2. Allow me to pick her from Siaya. That was Kisumu, Siaya. Okay, let me give her.
Okay, thank you. There is something that stood out from the panelists from Kakamega, that the women-led youth groups are doing better than the men-led groups. So my question is not only to the panelists but to the whole floor. Are we just going to leave these men out that hii kitu imewashinda? Or what are we going to do? Then my suggestion, then there was something that also stood out that one challenge with men is that they are migrants. But I do think we have football teams, ziko pale kwa village, of which most of these people are people from the same village. Is there a possibility that we can use these football teams as groups so that these men can actually develop what a mentality of just going for training and stuff? But we can use these football teams because now ni watu wenye wanatoka the same place. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are picking the last from her. Then I move the other side. As we answer this first, then we move the side.
Thank you so much, Unita. I've heard so many speakers talking about the only way to get you empowered through Kata. And you have mentioned that you have put in place so many trainings among the youth. My question is, can you kindly tell us the ways we can access the farm inputs? Because already we have the knowledge, but we can't access the farm inputs because they're costly. How can we get them so that we can put the knowledge we have learned into practice?
Thank you so much. Allow me to give time for responses to this, to the respective panelists, to the questions are directed to. In briefs, please.
Thank you very much. There is the question about youth empowerment through sports. Now, the upcoming event is on who is next, your talent search. This is through Tananda Hela. So, your question was that when you went for training, you were told that we were bad hudi nyumbani. But you never again followed up when you grew up to that level that they wanted. Kama walikuambia wewe labda pengine a minute, maybe she did not have an ID. That is profiling. So you gave up. Now there is an opportunity in this. Yeah.
In your line of thought as a young person, never give up.
Now, on who is next talent search, this one here will be carried in all the sub-counties where we are going to carry out auditions and then select the best talents which will be nurtured. They will graduate to another level and these talents will be nurtured. What I want to say is that when we shall be doing this talent search, it is not a question of who is going to represent who. It is an issue of individual development because there are people who have talents, but these talents have never been developed. So we are doing it as a way of developing those talents and helping the young people to be able to earn from those talents which they have. Briefly, what we shall do is that you are going to have a video shot of whatever talents that you have. They are going to review those video recordings and then award marks on them and then see as you move to the next level. I think that is what we are going to do. And we are looking to empower about 1 million youth. And we know that the youth population is so big.
Thank you. Yes?
Yeah, let me just comment on the back on that. I think another thing that we must do, I agree we need to give the youth hopes, but at least we have to be realistic. I have been in her shoes. I played soccer up to a very high level and I've been to trials for under 23 national team and under 20, right? Such shit go down, my friend, and it's that bad, right? So the truth is, what we must do is that we must seek for other opportunities, right? Yeah, you might have hit a wall, right, my sister, but that must not stop your career. Yeah, you must keep going on. So, yeah, but where we sit, yeah, we must also be realistic with us, right? What can a government do when you are profiled tribally in a trials in Mombasa? We can only, motivate you that must not hit your ego, so that you come back and sit. So, thank you.
Thank you. Then there was a question on farming food input for agribusiness.
Let me just address that. Yes, that is true. That is a challenge. Upon gaining skills, you cannot propagate what you've learned. We actually, the first project with practical action in Homa Bay was called Trade, and we will be giving farm implements to the youth. There were some gaps and challenges. They end up selling the farm implements, right? Wakishapewa tena wao badala ya kutumia wanapeleka kwa soko. So this is the project that gave back to Ray, which is going on right now. So what they did is that they give you the capacity, right? But then they identify a youth who is already in agriculture. Mwenye akona kukumbili, right? So when you get someone mwenye akona kukumbili, this is someone who is motivated to achieve his or her goals. Sawa. But I agree there's a gap, and we can only work around it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let me add something on that. It is true that youth face challenges in accessing some of these farm implements. And one thing I could share with the team inside here, what propelled me to who I am today is agribusiness. And I was in agri-processing. I didn't have any machinery, but there are government institutions which have machines which we can access. An example being Calro, and another one being Agricultural Technology and Development Centers. These are centers where you can access machineries for your processing activity or any agricultural activity that can then propel you to have funds for your own machineries. Apart from that, there are also non-government organizations which have come up with incubation centers where you can access some of these machineries you may need. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The other question was really not a question, but about good public speaking. You will be one. We believe you are already.
There was a question about women doing well in repayment.
Okay.
Now, I did not say that now we are going to give out men. What we shall do is that what we are doing is that we are training them and telling them that they have to repay so that they can now be able to access more funding. The biggest challenge among these funds is that we have, I don't know much about Kisumu and other counties, but in Kakamega we have never had a group which has repaid to a level that now it is exceeding that particular fund, so that we can make a recommendation to the bank and they can be able to be funded a much more bigger amount. Most of the groups, what they do is that they disintegrate. After 200,000, many of them disintegrate. They do not graduate up to the end.
Thank you. Thank you so much. For purposes of justice, allow me.
I wanted to comment on what the young man said about being a public speaker. Congratulations for that. I think he cleared Masinga Nduliro last year. He graduated last year. A young boy, he calls himself Dr. Brian. According to him, from where he sits, he has the same vision that you have. And he has taken it as a job. When I came to the office, when he came to visit me, told me, I started this thing when I joined university, the first year, as a speaker. He used to sit down with other students, just give them a talk, does research on internet, and just sit down with them and talk to them. So he developed to an extent when he got to the second year, it now became like he could be invited maybe to some schools within where he comes from. Then from there, the lecturers within the university realized the potential he had. And they were able now to refer him to other universities and talk to the young people. As we speak, the young man has produced 2 books. I have one of his books in my bag. He's passionate about issues of women. He did this book while in school. As at the time he's graduating, he's already a writer and a public speaker, and a perfect one. I call him Dr. Brian. He also calls himself Dr. Brian, but he just graduated last year. So keep up with the vision, never step back. That is your line. Pick it up.
Thank you so much. Now, allow me to pick 3 questions from this side. 3. Let them be brief because of time. Then after the 3 questions and the responses, we would be breaking for lunch and then come back for the commitment session that will be very brief. Then we can wrap it up. Sawa. The first one here.
All right. Thank you so much. I want to touch on something I am not sure that it was said here, tying to what our panelists have said. I believe that by the time God was already creating us and bringing us to this earth, He already prepared us for everything there is we have to face. So I am a believer that we carry in ourselves great potential that is yet to be explored. We have talents within us. And this brings me to the question that does the government have a database or a reference point where they would say that such a place has these type of youths and they have all these potentials? You understand what I'm saying? Then secondly, do we have talent hubs that are going to initiate or spark the interest within these youth? I've heard people talking about football. We are not just created to play football. We have other talents within us. Is there a talent hub that are specific to other talents, other gifted people, other than football? So,
Thank you so much. I'm picking 2 more. One from, I picked from Josiah. Yeah. Let me pick from this here, man.
Thank you. At last, my name is Nicholas Joel, and I come from Sierra County. I really thank you for all that you say, and I want to concur with the director from Homa Bay. You know, sometimes we use so much English to the youth, assuming that what we are saying is the biblical truth. Let us get back to real life situations. You know, if we want to help each other as youths and those who are in positions that can help the youths grow, we should just be realistic, because at one time we were all at this stage that we have these guys that we are now struggling with here. When we talk of talent and culture, there's so much that we can do in talent and culture that can even be as part of employment. The only problem is our counties are allocating funds, but now when we follow up to ensure that what they have allocated the funds for are attained, there is a misstep in between. You have told us here to consider CIDP. We follow those things to ADP. At times you get the CIDPs don't even match the ADPs. You propose at the CIDP and then you have hopes that what you propose at youth will be there. But when you reach the ADP, it is a very different thing. And when you follow them up, you become branded as noisemakers. Yet you are following up on things that can be helpful. We have a program now with Kenya Museum, and it has already happened in Siaya. They are dealing with culture. They are documenting the indigenous knowledge and how we can use the indigenous knowledge to produce funds. We have people we call Anyuoga because of the medicines they use, but there is that medicinal value that the Kenya Museum is looking for from these people. Some of them are youths that have inherited from their grandparents. So those can even help them get employment opportunities. I'm happy that in Sierra there is a allocation of around 2 million for the same. And I'm also happy that Dorothy is here and you are a member of the Committee for Culture. Please follow up and ensure that the youths from Sierra get the opportunity, and note that the MCAs will now bring on board their persons after the youths have struggled to ensure that those are happening.
Thank you so much. Allow me to pick a question from her. The last question.
Good afternoon, everyone. name is Amala Sharifa and I'm from Kakamega County. Mine is for the talent in her shoe. Maybe, I don't know if it's a suggestion or maybe a question. Why don't you come up with a criteria whereby you can decide to choose age, because she was dismissed because of her age. Instead of putting all these people together but were age same, why can't you just decide this is a certain age bracket we will be competing, rather than putting them all together? Maybe that way we can avoid such a situation where, in as much as there was tribal profiling, we can avoid that by just putting them in a certain age so that we avoid such confusion.
Thank you. One last more question. Allow me to give from the end of the persons with disability. He asked in the first lot. Allow me to give the second lot to her so that we close this.
Thank you so much. I'm still Italian from CIA. Okay, my question is, this one goes to all the countries. In disability, we are also diverse. So how inclusive are you in your activities? Because you find that even in sports, the PWDs, especially, let me just say, the visually impaired, they are not involved in the sports area. And that is so bad because we are really like excluding our young ones from maybe knowing their talent at an early age. So kindly, can you be as inclusive as possible? Because we feel that some disabilities are being, how can I put it? They are not really being put into consideration. For example, I have to be realistic, like a visually impaired person, we come with a responsibility. I have to have a guide. So you find that even in job opportunities, a visually impaired person will not really be given that chance. Maybe I have my fellow brother with PH. He will be more considered than I, because they feel that meaning is equal. And also, even at our county level in Sierra, we don't have sports for the visually impaired persons. So as much as you are doing these policies, you are allocating funds, you should think of the inclusivity in diversity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think we are ending the question session at that end. It is time for responses, after which we'll proceed for lunch and come back for commitment. Sawa. I think I'll give this time for at most a minute for responses. Yes?
So, do I start?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think I have to, maybe a response or clarification to make. I'm so happy about what my brothers. I want to say in terms of database of artists, we, as Kisumu County, we really do not have, but currently we are, with the support of UNESCO, we are developing the database of our artists, and even in terms of sports. There's something that has been mentioned about talent hub, like. I really want to say that in Kisumu County, we have, in terms of sporting events, we have few stadiums that we can talk about. But in terms of talent, nurturing and care, the performing artists, the music, we have Mama Grace Onyango Cultural Center, and currently we are innovating Kanyakwal Cultural Center, which will be for the same. We also have Rotary Vocational Training Center. Of course, there is a section for the vocational training training programs, and we have a hall for artists which they can normally access through the request through my office. I wanted to make a clarity in terms of from Sierra. You talked about, you mentioned something in the CIDP, it is not in the ADP, it is not in the budget. I think it is important that I clarify this. CIDP is like a wish list. I can even have 90 projects. It's a county integrated development plan. So any project that is proposed at the public participation, it will be captured under the CIDP. It's a 5 years plan. Then after the CIDP, we will have the ADP. The ADP now restricts you to a 1 year plan, annual development plan. Again, the ADP is a wish list.
of a given financial year. Finally, we have the budget. So you may realize that something was proposed in the CIDP. It has not appeared within that annual development plan because of, in terms of priorities that are given at the public participation. Again, you realize that something came out during the ADP, but it will not be in the budget. When it comes to budget, it is now about the resource envelope. What do we have in terms of the budget? We may have proposed budget, maybe projects worth 600 million in the ADP. But when it comes to the budget, we only have 200 million. So again, it gets down to what you can have in the budget. And I think that is why we normally have a public participation after the CIDP, we have a public participation for the ADP, and finally a public participation for the budget. Number two, something was talked about here about public participation. I want to get back to it and just humbly request the young people. I'm very sure if you talk to the departments of youth, gender, culture, sports, they'll tell you what they go through in terms of budget. Everybody sees them as consumers. People are prioritizing hospital, people are prioritizing roads, people are prioritizing what. You're like, me, I have programs, I'm dealing with young people. Can we get money for these people? And especially the honorable member will tell you, I had an opportunity, I was in the county assembly last financial year. When it gets to budget, the elected members want to hear about hospital, they want to hear about roads, they don't want to hear anything about sports. And for the department to implement anything sports, they need the resources. So I think that is also very key. And I think this is happening because young people, when we get to the public participation, they don't come out. For me to implement a program like the Kisumu Arts and Culture Festival that I do, to give the artists an opportunity to showcase their talent, I need resources. These resources will not come if the young people doesn't go to the public participation, mention about showcasing their talent, and finally I get the money in the budget. Many counties are doing the governor's cup. The CECs of sports will tell you, you sweat and you have to put the governor down for you to even get money to support small teams. Everybody is prioritizing road, hospital, they don't think about the young people. I'm telling them we need to participate in this. Like she has asked about supporting the PWDs. Last financial year, I can remember, we just requested for 2 million in my budget. We ended up getting 500,000 to support disability in sports. And you know, they're telling me how that sport help us, as we need to have a road. So we were only able to support one team, the Baragoli team. Of course, I'm so happy Kisumu County we supported them, but we just do it through our own means. We supported the basketball disability, we supported the Baragoli, we supported the athlete people, but it is through our own means. In terms of getting that resource, I want to stand in the gap of my colleagues CCs for this department. Look at the budget book. You realize the department that is least funded is the Department of Sports, Culture, Gender, Youth Affairs, Arts. It is the department that suffers. I want to request young people, when public participation comes, because we normally get these reports from public participation, kindly ensure you are there to stand up for yourself. As the elderly people are talking about us having that role, you young person also talk about us, like right now in Kisumu, we have a lot of centers that were built as resource centers, but they are not equipped. We have almost one in each and every ward. They are just halls built there. Right now they are left for public participation, during public participation. But as we are looking at it in terms of, if we are able to equip these resource centers, have computers in those resource centers, then our youth can have somewhere where they can access information, or a youth group can be given the facility to manage. And out of the management they get something. But you sit down and reason with them, we need this money, put it here. No, it is a sweat. So I really want to encourage us to go for the public participation and ensure that our voice are heard. Because the goodness is that the department, after every public participation, I get a report. And out of the report, that is where I'm able to pick what I'm putting in the budget. Finally, I wanted to talk about, I've talked about disability inclusion, about the budget, and about the talent hub. Finally, I know I have a final say.
Yes. Okay. You have a minute for your parting shot.
Thank you. I'd like to add something more on what Nicholas had said. that you find that sometimes we allocate funds for activities for the young people, but you end up that they're not coming to fruition. We talked about something here which was on feedback. And I think it's one of the best practices that we're going to carry from here and even from Kisumu County. On their Huduma Mashinani, that we need to go back to the people and tell them, look here, this is what we budgeted for, and this is what we've done with that money. I think that was so important. And the last one was more of a follow-up on the cultural activity which we have done with the museum, National Museums of Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have something to add?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, you said rightly that it's not only soccer. We have other talents, and I can tell you with authority. How many of you know of Roche, Raila Odinga Stadium, Homa Bay? Right? It is not only soccer. If you come to Homa Bay, we are developing a studio there where we are going to capture and incubate talent in music across the board, be it rap or ile Ohangla. We have Onipa Pajay there, who is handling the Ohangla side. So we are looking at an array of talents that we are going to incubate. And recently we launched the development of the Akakoro Academy in Diwa. It's on almost 20-acre facility, which is going to tap talents across Homa Bay, if not across the region. Because when it is done, it will be the only one in the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And lastly?
Lastly, I want to respond to Quinta that the issue of disability and the inclusion of the various domains of disability is very central to the new Persons with Disability Act that we published early this year. And the inclusion of various types of sports is going to feature very prominently as we begin to implement.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think up to that end, can we put our hands together for our panelists in 1, 2, 3. 1 again, 2, and 3. Thank you so much. I think up to that end, we are coming to the close of this, and even as we close, you holding a microphone means you have the last parting shot in less than 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, I doubt if it has hit the ball. I doubt if you are not comfortable. I think you are comfortable. Why am I saying this? Because you have not come out to demand. If you hear that you are the guys who get the least budget, yeah, then what needs to be done? Sawa. But what I can tell you, it can be done. It must be done. If it is not done, you are done. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. On your right.
I just want you to remind me, Rada ilikuwa ni?
Tubonge tusikike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As I give my parting shot, allow me to appreciate one Villa Yomondi in absentia. He's a young youth who has shown us the real meaning of resilient self-growth, and today he can stand tall to be one of the partners of this big event. Big up to Sia Muungano Network, and I say that it is our time, the young people, and with us it can only get better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Now, my parting shot is that all governments worldwide ride on youth empowerment as their campaign pledge. Everywhere, even the big nations, they will talk about youth empowerment. And therefore, I want to encourage you young people that hold this government accountable on their promises.
Thank you so much. And finally,
Thank you so much. I think mine will be very short to the young people. I've walked this journey. I started the journey immediately I finished Kisumu Poly. It is a hard journey. Believe in yourself. Walk it. Know who you want to be. Know who you are. Go for what you want. Thank you.
thank you so much. After that end, we are giving a minute, not even a minute, 30 seconds for prayer for lunch. Come close to the microphone. As she comes, can we just warm our hands? Just warm. But for purposes of global warming, don't let it be too warm. Right? Don't let it be too warm. Just a bit, and we're clapping in 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And lastly, thank you so much. Thank you so much, this amazing team. Even as they plan to stand for the photo, let us pray so that we can let them go and have lunch as we prepare to come back for the last brief session on commitment. Karibu, madam.
Thank you for the grace that you accorded us until this hour. We are going to come home. Maybe bless us in this time, please.
Amen. Thank you so much. The paparazzi, please. We are taking a photo here, Mheshimiwa, first, before we move outside. There's another photo outside at the, it's called what? After lunch. For everyone.
if you can hear my voice, we want to wrap up the afternoon. Tunaomba muingie ndani as we end this session. As we have the band entertaining us. Kama umeshamaliza kukula tafadhali, let's get in as we close for the day. Ni kipindi cha lala salama. Tunamaliza. Finish kumalo. So please get into the hall as we enjoy the music as we get to the final part of this day. We don't have a lot of time, so we request everyone else who is outside, kama bado uko nje ya tent, tafadhali ingia ndani. We don't have a lot of time. The rain is here coming, and those who are traveling back to different areas, so let's honor the time that we have as we bring this to an honorable close. We've had a good session before lunch. We just want to wrap it in a very, very nice way. So as you get in, I want you to enjoy music from the band, that is take 5. If you're tempted or you want to stand and dance, it's okay. We have Team Musa here, lead us in the dance session as we the last part of this program. Take it away, the band. need to be on your feet. Hakuna mtu atakujaja hapa. Cheza venye unataka. Hata kama hujui kucheza, simama tafadhali. Enjoy the music. Muziki bila jasho. As long as usiguze waheshimiwa. I am giving you this to enjoy. So when I bring it to a close, don't blame me. I want you to enjoy. Just stand. Najua kuna watu wako shy. Simama tu. Simama uenjoy muziki.
Thank you.
makofi ya Take 5 the band. Wapi makofi ya yule mama? Wapi ya kofi ya kiongozi?
Wapigie wengine makofi. Kumbuka Wednesday tutakuwa Daba. Wednesday, Mega City, eh? So if you have time, come through, come listen to us on Wednesday. See you.
Great.
So from 6 mpaka midnight.
Alright, so having that kind of entertainment, angalia jirani yako mwambie bana. Hey. Hey. Kuna watu wanajua kudance. Najua maybe I'm not one of them. But my work here is just one. I'm here to invite the person who will give us the final part of our day today, which is the commitment. What next? We've had a 2-day seminar. What next? What's our commitment as different duty bearers, as different stakeholders, as individuals who make so?
Thank you. So I think I'll just take a maximum of 1.5 minutes. Yes, yeah, because we need to leave. But you can always refer to this document when you're making decisions and also when you're making your commitments. Just know that we will follow up with you to know how far we will have come. So allow me to give the communique to Madam Dorothy Oinga from Siaya. Karibu sana. And to issue this out, I'll invite Beatrice from Siaya. Karibu. Hilary, please bring the document. And then after her, we will have Mr. Jacob Kimani. And I want to invite one of the representatives from Kakamega, Sharifa. We will give out the communique.
I must say something about our youthful MCA. See, she's youthful. And we have seen her grow from akisema akiuza juice sawa sawa. Until now, she's the one representing us in the county assembly. So we are always very proud of her. That's why mnaona tukiwachezea hapa because tumezoeana sana. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Yeah, and continue doing the good work. Tunajua tuko na the youth policy yenye unatusupport nayo. We hope it will sail through. And before your term ends, we will have that document yenye tunaweza tumia. So really feel love from the youth of Siaya County. Tunakupenda sana.
Thank you. Makofi yake tafadhali. So next we have the team from Kakamega County. You can say just in 30 seconds as you hand it over here. I just want to tell you that
I just want to tell you that Mr. Kimani Bogo is not just anyone. He is a father to us. He has never left us aside. Whenever we have any issues, we approach him, and he has provided us with so many resources that you may never count. I want to tell you that the youth of Kakamega County love you so much, and thank you for being a father to us and not just a leader.
Asante sana.
We already gave out other communiques, so at this juncture, I would like to invite one of us who was here from Ssauti Yangu Network to give a vote of thanks and to also pick the documents for representatives from Siaya. Karibu sana Beatrice. I am so sorry. I hear there are people from Kisumu who have not received. So, if I mention your name and you're from Kisumu, you can pick this up. So we have Madam Maida from Siaya. That's one is from Siaya County. And then Sylvester Kokot. That's from Siaya. I think people from Kisumu, I'll find out where your copies are. You have a copy? Oh, okay. Okay, sawa sawa. Let me just hand this over to Beatrice to conclude. Give me one second. Nasikia Kisumu County lazima wa receive yao kwanza.
On behalf of all the youth, we are humbled for you came here and heard our voices. And as you are going with this, kindly do whatever we requested. Do whatever we requested as youth, so that this summit be of impact to us youths and to the county government. Thank you.
Asante sana. I think sasa tuko sorted wote, sivyo? So Siaya County, we will give our mom tukimaliza as Siaya County members. So the journey started with the 6 counties being funded by Voice. Sawa. So all of us were implementing a Voice project. We were being supported by Voice in partnership with the LCI. So everybody was doing an individual project. So after a closeout, we had to have a community of practice, the one we are calling COP, and we want to again appreciate Voice and the LCI for letting us come out as 6 counties to just hold an event that brought us together this far. We want to take that opportunity to shukuru sana. So Hilary, when you go back, say the youth are very grateful for the opportunity. We also want to thank all the implementing partners. I'll start with Empower Her Initiative, ELF, even Stretchers, Ssauti Yangu Network, EDSO. EDSO nilitaka kuwa mention last because it's like they are the ones who have done the chunk of the work, because tuko hapa Kisumu County courtesy of EDSO. So sisi wengine we were virtual listeners and participants, but EDSO walikuwa kwa ground wakishirikiana na Step Up together. So we really want to appreciate Step Up and EDSO who are in Kisumu for organizing everything, and also for the partners who are joining virtually. Saa zingine tulikuwa tunachoka on the way, tunawaacha kwa meeting peke yao, but the day has come to be a success. So we are really grateful for the opportunity to host such an event. Na nimeona yote yanawezekana. We can perform something very good wakipewa opportunity, si ndio? So even to our duty bearers, we really want to appreciate your time here. It's not in vain. We know you are very busy people, but you took it upon you to come and represent your different counties. We are really grateful. So when you go back, we hope you will commit to what we have said in our communique, And the next time we meet, at least we will be saying one or two things are going on well. We really appreciate your time. And the next time you can also plan with us to hold an activity in our different counties. Nasikia kuna Youth Expo, Youth Summit. It is doable because the COP have shown that it is possible. So we are really grateful even to the members from the different counties. Members wametoka from all the 6 counties, some were joining virtually. We are really grateful. You have not wasted your time. And to the band, and all those who have made us dance and enjoy ourselves, we are really grateful. Tumejienjoy, tumejibamba, tumebonga, tukasikika. So we appreciate each and everyone. Don't feel left behind, kama sija mention, and heads up. Thank you for the good work. It's a success because many normally bear the burden, but we appreciate that you took all your time to plan and do everything. We are really grateful. Asanteni sana, mkirudi nyumbani, mfike salama hadi tuonane tena.
All right. So after a vote of thanks, it's basically we just need to be on your feet, say the final prayer, and you give a general lecture. Volunteer to pray for us. We began the day in prayer, close with a prayer. Robert.
Thank you. Shall we bow our heads and pray? Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we come before you this wonderful evening. We want to thank you, Almighty God. You've been with us since yesterday to today. The deliberations and action points, Lord, that we brought forth, Almighty Father, we ask that you guide us for a very successful implementation, Almighty God. Above all, we thank you for our good leaders who have committed their time and efforts to come and listen to our views, Almighty God, and share with us according to the experience and in the line of work, Almighty Father. We ask that you use them, Almighty God, to help us voice our deliberations, Almighty God, for good implementation. Even for the youths from various areas in this country, Lord, we ask that you may be with them, guide them in the initiatives that they are conducting within the grassroots, Almighty God. Together, we ask that you grant us safe journey mercies until we meet again in Jesus' name. Amen.
One last announcement. We need to do a group photo outside. Please. Let's all walk outside. We will take a group photo pale kwa backdrop. If you need to carry your banners, you can carry. But let's all go to the backdrop banner. Side. Don't miss out on the group photo. Let's walk straight there. Hey, paparazzi! Let's not waste time. Let's take a photo, then wale waende. So let's take a photo.